Hello and welcome to today's Daily Dominion. It's a seaside. Oh, what is today? Friday. So it must be a try. That's Seaside Prosperity Wonder, which is interestingly enough a tournament that's going on, which we've been playing on the other client. So today we have Reckless, which is a new trait. I think follow the instruction of Reckless cards twice, and then you return it to its pile when cleaning it up. And then we have Inspiring Tactician, which is terrible. Inspiring Tactician basically does nothing. There's some edge cases you can construct to make it do something, but they're pretty few and far between. Then there's just, I don't know, there's not a lot to do here. I don't know if we had Gondola yet. Gondola is a silver duration that you can play now or next turn. And when you gain it, you can play an action card from your hand. We played with Sack of Loot, I believe. But in any case, Sack of Loot is just a simple little card that gives you plus coin, plus buy, and gain a loot. Tools, we've seen some point. I don't know if we've seen it in Daily Dominion, but gain a copy of a card anyone has in play. I think Tools is really good. And then Trickster, each other player gains a curse. When you discard a treasure card for play, you may set it aside, put it in your hand at the next. So you can keep playing a loot or bank or whatever. But ultimately, this is just going to be messy. You can go for Tactician bank stuff, I guess, to have like bigger turns. But it's not. Or you could try to do Native Village into like maybe a Sack of Loot kind of mega turn thing with bank. I don't know how big that could get. I mean, it's not impossible. You just only buy Native Villages and set aside stuff over and over. Though I think with the cursing, that's going to be a little bit hard. This is not a great draw. Maybe I'll take an Astrolabe. We're going to have 8 here, which is really more than we want, but I think I'm going to take a Sack of Loot. And I think I will take a Charlatan. We get Doubloons. Actually, Doubloons is quite good here. So Doubloons is just basically it looks like gold. It's +3. It doesn't have buy, and then again you get a gold when you gain it. So that's actually quite nice here. I think on a lot of boards it can be weaker, but we're just trying to get money into the deck, so 2 golds is better than 1. I think I'll go ahead and get another monument. And then we're just going to green, when we have the money for it. Maybe I should take... Maybe I ought to have taken, or ought to take a Tactician somewhere. But... Okay. They're going to hit 8 here. I don't know if we're going to have time to take the Tactician, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if we'll even shuffle again. I mean, if everybody just buys provinces, we may not. I guess that's far from guaranteed. This is not great. This is a board where the plus buy isn't that good, so the loots that do other stuff are pretty good. I think I bought a bank. It bottom decked. We didn't get I mean, it was at least a gold, but we have these curses as well. But anyway, wasn't perfect. Is there anything we get like? There's like no reason not to just take an estate. This is unfortunate. If we draw one more copper, we'd be in business, but they may just get double province here and beat us with the sextant, because the sextant's pretty good. Well, they left a trickster on top. That's pretty bad. So that'll help out chances a little bit. So they have charlatan on top, so they still maybe just get there. Okay, so the trickster was pretty bad. In fact, I mean, the AI leaving trickster on top with their sextant play was super terrible. And maybe won the game for us. There wasn't a lot to say about this kingdom. There's just no draw or village. I mean, there was village, but I got 6 curses because they took a charlatan and a trickster. I wasn't really paying very good attention to see if their trickster was giving them much value. We can try. Let's play it again. This was only 6 minutes, and this replay will be quick too. I think we're okay, right? We already got the credit. All right, we're almost up to 7 again. We do our best to keep above 7, but it can be tough out here sometimes. You all know how it is. All right, I'm gonna try. This is such a not good reshuffle. What I'm gonna try is to buy 1 million native villages. We do know getting doubloons here isn't going to help us too much because kind of would like some buy. But that's life. I think I'll buy a bank here. Our loot hides. I don't remember what our next loot. Well, the order may be a little different this time, right? Because we have spell scroll. Not great for what we're trying to do anyway. Because we need buys. And spell scroll kind of can get us a buy, but staff is nice. I guess we could get a sack of loot. Also just double monument. I don't know how. Figurehead doesn't help too much either. So the idea here is just to play native villages over and over and over again. And then at some point buy like 4 or 5 provinces. I don't know. See, our thing is we don't have much plus buy. One of our things. Not that we need a huge amount. The number of native villages we've set aside is pretty sad. Actually, we probably should have bought. Yeah, we should have bought a tactician at some point earlier. Or I should have probably spell scrolled. I'm not sure. We're going to try this. I don't think we're going to get there. I think they're going to have too many points before we get there. I mean, we could take like a monument to help a little bit. The real fear is that we set aside the... Yeah, there just won't be enough points left. There's a deck you can play with Native Village and Bridge, which I'm basically trying to do a form of that. Oh, we set aside the Tactician. Well, okay, here. Let's, so that's really bad, actually. We can see how big we are on this particular turn. You have a cute interaction, though, actually. So this was my idea, right? That we would go like this. The staff tactician interaction is really nice. But maybe it's not like completely implausible that you get this biggish turn earlier, but it's kind of a hard sell. Wonder if they have, yeah, they just have 8, which we wouldn't have got enough point. I mean, like, let's say they buy just Duchy, and we are at 38. We might have made that actually on the tactician turn with the reckless monument coming down. We might have actually made that. I guess on that hand, if they don't hit 8, they probably actually have Duchy estates, so they probably have 39. But it would have been within shouting distance for sure. If we find the bank in the buys, I think it probably works. We played the figurehead too, so we were drawing 7 cards. I guess we can see what we can check. Just buy fewer provinces. And see what we pull up here. You don't find the bank, so that's means it really doesn't work. The bank, though, you have 5 buys and like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, like $6 more. I don't know, 15 doesn't cut it, so it's not like completely out of range. That's funny. I kind of think it might work sometimes against the AI here. What I was trying to do. I probably should have looked for a spot to get tactician sooner. But also if we don't set aside quite so many native, I mean, it wasn't like that unlucky because I mean, I bought a bunch of native villages, so sometimes you're gonna hit native village. But if I had hit fewer native villages, we might have gotten there. Also could have bought different stuff. It's not clear how much the astrolabes are doing for me. And also, like, getting different loots may have been good enough. I guess the one thing to check, or one of the things to check, is this. I mean, of course, at any given point, we can just say, you know, forget it, I'm going to pull off the, just the buy is so low right now for this. get a second bank. If we like reshuffle into the tactician here, probably it just works. To be honest. There we hit. Try greening. I'm gonna see, now we run into different issue. Look at how many native villages like, that's super unlucky. And there was a astrolabe, that's fine. I'm gonna cheat here. If I set aside the tactician, I'm gonna undo. Okay. So they're gonna hit 8 here. And I think the next turn. I mean, the shuffles are probably a little different, but. Actually, I should just leave that stuff set aside. See, we get 2 to blend. We just don't get any plus buy here. We're dying on that. And they probably have province. No? This is all interesting. The banks are worth quite a bit here. This is funny. I still kind of think it can work sometimes. But I do think you need the plus buy boon. So I would just have to think a little bit harder about how to do the tactician stuff. But anyway, that would be kind of an interesting angle to pursue. I think there's a lot. I mean, I could do more with the tactician stuff, especially if you know you have staff. And then the other issue is just that my native village set-asides were actually pretty bad. But not like absurd, but not great. All right, well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I tried out another approach and didn't really pan out. That's the only thing I can think of to make this like sort of exciting. Otherwise, you're just put in some of the good treasures and buy provinces, which is, I'm not a big fan of Sack of Loot. I think it kind of lends itself to that approach, and I don't think it's that interesting. I think it's kind of fun still to get the loots and stuff. Loots are just fun, but as far as pushing out other stuff you might do, I think it has a tendency to do that. When it is good, sometimes it doesn't matter, but. So I'm not a huge fan of Sack of Loot. Maybe my least. Well, Trickster is just pretty bad, but as far as the cards that aren't bad, that are decent in Plunder, Sack of Loot is one of my least favorites. But anyway, I also don't like Gondola very much, but I just haven't found spots for the gain very often. Otherwise, it's fine. So, all right, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow.